What's up, guys? It's Chris from Wasteland Props, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this NCR Ranger armor. So stick around. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you want. Other than that, let's get started. So I'm just going to apologize in advance for the terrible video quality. I did this video on my phone, but I'm in the process of getting a new camera, so that's that. For this project, you will need a heat gun and a Dremel. You will also need flat black paint, hammered steel, flat white paint, black acrylic paint, rub and buff, contact cement, super glue, and an X-Acto knife. You'll also need 1/2-inch EVA foam mat. So to begin with, I just took a measurement from my neck to my waist where I wanted it, how long I wanted the armor to be, then from the center of myself to around the side where I wanted the armor to go to around my side. Then I just drew out a pattern and looked at a few other people's online and just kind of did my own. I then began to cut out my pattern. When I was finished cutting out my pattern, I then continued on and transferred it onto a foam mat, and I just used a Sharpie to go around it. And then I took my X-Acto knife and cut along the lines. Not all of it, though. I left some, that way the paper would stay together. So I just did it in certain spots. And then I used a Sharpie to clear those lines up, because that makes it much easier to see. And when I was finished with all that, I started to cut the edges out and start to cut it out. I realized that my neck piece was a little bit too big. I realized it was going to be too big, so I just made it a little smaller and then cut that out. And I just continued to cut out the whole thing. It's pretty simple from there. So my next step was cutting out all the pieces, because this was actually my second attempt at making this armor. The first time it didn't come out so good, and I was going about it a bit different this time. This time I decided to cut out all the pieces that were going to be raised. That way when I put it all together, there would be little grooves in between. And always sand or Dremel the edges that you're about to glue so that they stick better. So I have my first piece done. The reason I'm doing this, gluing these things on the back, is that it'll add more detail into the back, just like this bottom piece. You can see from the front it gives it a lot more detail, and if you use glue the right way, it's not going to come apart when you bend it, so you don't have to worry about that. Now I'm just putting the two pieces together, making sure I sand down the foam first, that way the glue adheres really well to the other piece, and I just put it on. And then the next step after this is going to be heating the foam up and bending it, but after doing that I realized that I had taken no video or pictures. So there's plenty of videos for that on YouTube if you don't know how to do that. Basically, you just heat the foam up with a heat gun, making sure you don't burn yourself, because it's actually quite hot. And then just bend the foam to how you want it. You can just eyeball it and see. Always go a little bit further with it than it needs to be, because it's gonna bend back out as it cools down. So just go watch a few videos on that. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. So the little triangle cutout parts of the chest pieces, I did like a, I don't know what you'd call it, 45-degree angle maybe. But that was that, so that when you put them together, you just do it on one side. You just cut one side, just do a slant cut. I don't know what you'd call it, but you can see it there. And that you just do one side. That way when you put it together, I found it gives it more of a chest piece look other than just a square piece across your chest. It actually makes it look like chest piece armor. So this is where I got caught up in my work and forgot to take any photos or videos, but what I did was I glued the chest piece and the bottom piece together and used the heat gun and bended them until I liked them and they look like a good piece of armor. Okay, so after I put the torch on it to seal all of the foam, I did a coat of black primer paint. It's just black paint, just matte black. And now I have my hammered Rust-Oleum hammered steel paint. And this is going to be the last coat of paint, I think. It should be good enough. And then we're going to go from there. So one other thing that I forgot to show was how I put on the gorget, I think you call it, which is the piece that protects your neck. It's right on the neck. What I did was I looked at a bunch of pictures online and just drew out a pattern on some foam. It was pretty easy once I got the foam shape right. Had to do it a few times, but I got it. Glued it on with super glue. The two parts where it bends is just cut 2 slits in the foam and it'll bend up, and that's it. What I'm about to do next is black wash, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube. If you don't know how to do it, just type in how to black wash. Okay, so we're back, and I am finished black washing. Basically just taking my brush and painting a whole section of the armor black, and then just wiping it off until I like it, leaving the cracks here real dark because that's where the dirt is gonna be building up over the years. So right now I have, instead of using a silver paint or something, I'm gonna be using Rub and Buff, and it's silver leaf. Really nice, really like it. Makes it look like chipped paint. So. And these spots where I dremeled little holes, you can fill those up. Okay, so that's it for the dry brushing. It didn't take too long. I really like the look of how heavy I was putting it on. Just gave it like a really worn. I wanted this guy to look like he's been through a lot of damage, you know, out there in the wasteland. So I just gave this one a lot of damage, and actually a lot of silver leaf. So I went pretty heavy. This guy's been out there for a while. But the next thing I'm gonna do is the stencils. So we have the LAPD riot, we have the fist, and we have the 08. So that's next, and then straps, and then we're done. Okay, so I have the stencils all done. Just make sure that the tape's pushed down. That way the paint doesn't seep through and drip. It was quite difficult getting these on the tape, but I think I got them pretty good. It took a while, but it was worth it because this is going to be much easier than trying to spray the paper or anything. I have the 8, I have the fist, and I have the LAPD riot. I'm now going to take my flat white paint, make sure it's shaken well, and I'm going to spray this, and I will move on to the next thing, which is going to be, we have to black wash what we spray paint with the white, otherwise the white's going to look out of place, be too bright. So okay, we're here with our finished Ranger armor. NCR Ranger armor. I'm super happy with how it came out. As you can see. If you want, I do not have the proper paint supplies right now, but you can add rust. That's something I'm going to be doing in the future, but I do not have the proper supplies right now. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'm also going to be coming out with some more content. You can head over to my Instagram and like photos there also. I'm going to be posting a lot. There's going to be a lot more updates on there. Just what I'm working on. So that's it for this video. I hope you'll join me next time. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Somebody whisper, please adore me.